In this video, I'll share with you the most common symptoms of a bad PCV valve, based on my experience as an auto technician. Let's dive in. The positive crankcase ventilation is a crucial part of your vehicle's internal combustion engine. The PCV valve tirelessly regulates the amount of air that enters the engine's crankcase, balancing pressure and ensuring harmful gases and fumes don't escape into the environment. But where do these originate? During combustion, fuel is burned, generating gases. Although most of these gases end up in the exhaust, some manage to sneak into the crankcase. This can be a concern, as these gases can blend with the engine oil, forming a sludge that can block your engine. The PCV valve steps in here, expelling these gases from the crankcase by recycling them into the intake, where they mix with fuel to be burned in the engine. But what transpires when this vital component begins to malfunction? To find out, stay tuned, and don't forget to subscribe for more insightful content just like this. Just like any other component, the PCV valve can also fail. But how can you tell if your PCV valve is bad? Let's delve into the symptoms. When a PCV valve starts malfunctioning, you might notice several red flags. One of these could be excessive suction on the oil cap. Another sign to look out for is a discoloration or a film-like residue forming on the underside of the oil cap. If you hear whistling noises coming from the engine, this could be another symptom. The emission of white exhaust smoke is also a common indicator of a faulty PCV valve. Now, let's talk about the symptoms when your PCV valve is stuck in a closed position. A very common sign is a whistling or hissing sound coming from the engine. This usually indicates a slight blockage in the PCV valve. A check engine warning light could be another sign that your PCV valve needs to be replaced because the valve impacts vehicle performance and emissions. Poor fuel economy can signal the existence of a PCV valve issue. Oil leaks are another sign of a bad PCV valve. When the valve is clogged with deposits, it doesn't allow the blowback pressure from the cylinders to dissipate, overpressurizing the crankcase and potentially leading to oil seepage. And what about when your PCV valve is stuck in an open position? If your engine has a rough idle or is misfiring, that can indicate that you have an issue with your PCV valve function. The existence of oil in your PCV valve or hose can suggest that the valve is stuck open. If you have trouble starting your engine, it could be as a result of a failed PCV valve. Black smoke in the exhaust or oil-fouled spark plugs can indicate that your PCV valve is stuck open and is allowing oil to enter the combustion chamber through the air intake. These are some of the common signs of a bad PCV valve. But remember, these symptoms can also be caused by other issues, so it's always best to consult with a professional mechanic. So, we've given you a rundown on the symptoms of a faulty PCV valve. Now let's switch gears and talk about how you can test your PCV valve. To start, locate your PCV valve and its corresponding tubes. These can often be identified sticking out from the valve cover, intake manifold, or along the side of the engine block. Note, however, that not all vehicles have a PCV valve. Some might simply contain a basic breather tube. Once you've located the PCV valve, the following steps should be taken. Fire up your vehicle, allowing it to reach its operating temperature. Detach the PCV tube from the valve cover. Place your fingertip over the tip of the tube. If everything's working correctly, you should feel a mild pull due to the engine's vacuum, which will cause a temporary drop in the engine's idle RPMs before it stabilizes again. If you don't feel this pull, it could be a sign that your PCV valve or tube is blocked. Another way to test this is by squeezing the tube, which should also result in a decrease in idle speed. A dip in RPMs could mean that your PCV valve is stuck open. A functioning PCV valve is key to your vehicle's performance, so keep an eye out for these signs and make sure your car is always at its peak. Thanks for tuning in.